long overdue turning point, a recognition that we need to focus on communities and households with limited access. That broadband brings good jobs to rural America so that its residents do not have to leave their communities in order to be able to find work. Now, with the recovery package, we secured $7.2 billion to begin to make this opportunity real. And I hope to be able to build on that foundation in the months ahead as chair of the Agricultural Appropriations Subcommittee. Expanding broadband is the type of federal program that can not only connect rural areas to the global community, but also generate great growth in rural America, and in the process, it pays great dividends for our nation overall. Excuse me. In today's economic reality, we have a responsibility to equip rural communities as they face newfound income insecurity, and that means investing in community buildings, in early childhood centers, and rehabilitation and medical centers. It means providing technical assistance, the kind that all of you are providing in your communities across this nation every single day, to encourage prudent land use, sound management, conservation of natural resources. It means making a bold new commitment to wind technology and to biofuels. Now, last year's Farm Bill provides $1 billion to renewable industry investments, new technologies, and feedstocks. It created a Rural Energy for American program, REAP, $250 million in grants and loan guarantees for producers and small rural businesses to purchase renewable energy systems and to make energy efficiency improvements. And again, as the Agricultural Appropriations Subcommittee Chair, I look forward to building on that foundation. Secretary Vilsack did just that this morning when he talked about increasing ethanol in gasoline to as high as 20% in the coming years. What could be yet another critical step in breaking our dependence on fossil fuel and making opportunity real for American farmers. It is an uphill battle, my friends. It's that uphill battle which is facing our family farmers and our ranchers. There's a kind of a common belief that as long as food prices remain high, farmers are getting rich. That increased production in corn and soybeans to meet the nation's ethanol mandate is the main culprit. But I know that despite sharp declines in commodity prices, retail prices remain high. And I know that when farmers get only about 12 cents on every $3 retail loaf of bread, 92 cents on a $3 gallon of milk, and 80 cents on a $6 pound of top sirloin, there is something else that is going on. I do not have to tell you that the myths about fuel versus food need to be investigated. Yes. You know, energy prices have a far greater impact on retail food prices. What I've done is I've written to the Congressional Research Service. I said, I quote, "Conventional economic theory does not seem to be operating here. It is time to take a look at this logically to understand what is in fact the relationship between ethanol and food prices and what is fiction. I've asked them to look at other potential market forces that may be at play. How much impact can we find in industry consolidation or inappropriate market behavior such as price fixing, collusion? What can we learn from historical data, and how can we apply it in our current circumstance?" I wrote them in December. They are supposed to get back to us by the end of this month. I understand how hard it can be just to get by when the cost of businesses weighs heavy every single day. There is a classic line from John F. Kennedy, who used to describe the American farmer as, and I quote, the only businessman in our economy who has to buy everything at retail, sell everything at wholesale, and pay the freight both ways. And it rings true, more true every single day. You know, and I know, that there is no silver bullet that is going to magically solve all of these problems. But I do believe, and I know you believe, that government has a role and it has a responsibility. There are some who would say, keep government out of this. And that's wrong. We have a moral responsibility to be engaged in what is happening in your lives. We have that responsibility. That's why you send us here, to take it on and to make sure that we are making a difference for you. Again, I'm so pleased to be here today because working with you as you do your work on behalf of America's family farmers and ranchers in our rural communities. So I said to you, we have a responsibility to give the ideas that we discuss today and tomorrow and that we have discussed in the past. We have those ideas today, but we have to give them life for tomorrow. It is up to us to summon the political will, to provide the creative energy, and to build new and lasting partnerships across old boundaries. And it is up to us to do it together. I thank you so much for allowing me to come before you today and this opportunity to speak to you. I'll make one final comment to you. I sat on this committee for 14 years, so I didn't come to it as someone who didn't know all the ins and outs of what the committee jurisdiction was. Granted, I spent a lot of time on the nutrition programs, on food stamps, on WIC, on conservation efforts, so there's a lot to learn about the areas that you face every single day. And the more in my tenure now is first as a ranking member and now as just the subcommittee chair for the last 4 years, I believe that working with you, we have tried and in some instances succeeded, but as I say, we have a lot of work to do in order to further what your interests are. These are not parochial geographic areas of the country in which we don't participate in each other's lives. I'm from the Northeast, and for the first time in history, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic states, parts of California, represented in a farm bill that deal with some of the same issues that you do on conservation and water management. You care about nutrition, as I do. You care about the crops that we grow in the Northeast and in Mid-Atlantic states and in California, and it was that coalition of people who came together that voted for that farm bill. It's our responsibility now to keep that coalition together in order to further not just a geographical area of the country, but across this land writ large, the interests of farmers and ranchers and dairy farmers and specialty crop farmers and folks who till the land, who till the soil, who put their life's blood into that work. We have to make it pay off for them. God bless you. Thank you so very much for letting me do this.